Butterflies. Sometimes that pause that you're experiencing isn't caused by a lack of feelings. It could be caused by the fear of finding out that those feelings aren't returned. Greetings and blessings. Welcome in. This morning we begin our morning metamorphosis message with the energy of the hangman to open this reading. The hangman energy is the energy of pause. This is surrender. This is the energy of being suspended. This is a change of perspective, seeing things differently. Now with the hangman energy, you could be in this pause at this point in time because it could be creating perspective for you. Someone may be viewing the connection from a distance, but they don't know just how to approach it yet. So the hangman energy could be here to invite you or someone that you may be connected to. You might be inviting them to consider, what am I assuming instead of knowing? Because there's a difference between the two. There's a difference between they don't feel the same and I'm afraid they don't feel the same, my butterflies. And knowing the distinction between the two, recognizing, honoring that there is a distinction between the two, that could be a major part of you learning and gaining that new perspective that the hangman energy is inviting you to step into. So this energy, it could also be inviting us to explore. To explore whether or not that silence that we're experiencing, whether we're interpreting that as rejection when that silence really might be uncertainty. Someone may not be talking because they don't know how you feel. They may be assuming how you feel. And vice versa, my butterflies. You may not be approaching and going towards something or someone that you are desiring, all because you assume that you won't get the same energy in return. I always remember, my butterflies, these energies, they can be, it does not necessarily have to be romantic. It does not have to be a romantic person. This could be a job situation. This could be a new opportunity. This could be a new environment that you might feel like you won't be accepted, embraced into. But it may be an assumption. So Spirit may be asking you at this point in time to step into a new perspective. I think Spirit is encouraging us to stop interpreting, a lack of action that we may be experiencing and seeing from someone. It's automatically that they are lacking a feeling for us. But at the same time, we got to maintain our discernment. And because that's the best approach. Make sure, even though you don't have all the answers, even though you may not know if their feelings are the same as yours, make sure you use their discernment. Make sure you're paying attention to, those patterns that's repeating. The things that you have learned. Pay attention to how your body feels in certain situations. Those things are important, my butterflies. Because feelings and actions, they are not the same thing. Someone can genuinely feel something for you and still be unable or, unwilling to show up, in ways that create reciprocity. In ways that create, that mutual interest that you may be looking for. And with this energy, I don't know. I know that you may not feel for me as I feel for you. That's the kicker. That is assuming. Because unless you have actually, went towards this person or this opportunity and they've actually said that to you, anything else is an assumption. So this pause, it could be creating a perspective for you. It could be helping you to step into a place where you're learning how to feel more instead of assuming. could be this could be, talking about a person who's afraid to show their feelings. This could be talking about, being stuck, observing from a distance and not taking any action. This could be, you watching, thinking, and trying to understand the situation without going in and asking the necessary questions, seeking the clarity. Someone may feel like they need more clarity before they can move forward. And sometimes that clarity doesn't always arrive like that. Sometimes the clarity comes from you taking that first step, my butterflies. And this hangman energy, it is about sacrifice. So this could be, you or somebody feeling like they got to sacrifice their pride to express what they feel. And that's the confession. That's what may be confessing. This could be this. I know that you may not feel for me as I feel for you. This could really be revealing someone who would rather remain in a place where they're, suspended, just, not getting any answers, then risk their heart. This could be talking about that too. But like I said, this could be you. This could be someone you're dealing with, my butterflies. Just use your discernment. Because whichever way this falls, this energy is saying that there is, because of this pause, there's hesitation, there's uncertainty here. Someone doesn't know whether or not the feelings are reciprocated and they will be returned. Underneath the bottom of the deck, the overall energy we have is the Magician. This is willpower. This is personal power, my butterflies. This is skill. This is knowing how to adapt. This is the energy of being intentional with your creation, because the Magician is a creator. So, with this energy being underneath the bottom of the deck and being the overall hidden truth, I got to caution that because this energy with the Magician, like I said, because it's the ability to create. So, we have to be mindful of what we're allowing our thoughts to create, those assumptions. We have to be mindful of that. We got to be cautious about the story that we're telling ourselves. It's important to know whether or not we're manifesting, a connection, or if we're reinforcing a separation. It's important for us to know that. It's important for us to start using the resources and the information that we have gathered that's available to us to answer those questions. And figure out what can we actually do now. With whatever we have, what can we do now with it? Now, Magician energy is not about forcing an outcome. This is about recognizing your ability. This is about participating and creating your own reality. So even though you're in the hangman position, my butterfly, where you're in the energy of pausing, trying to gain a different perspective so you can see clearly, don't assume that you know how the other person is feeling. Don't assume they without clarity. Because once we understand the truth, have some clarity, then that's what we can decide what we're going to do with that information. I want to leave us all with an affirmation. Something that we can use to stay grounded and connected to the energies. And this affirmation is going to be, I can honor my feelings without losing myself to someone else's emotional uncertainty. My butterflies, this pause is maybe giving you time to see what you couldn't see while you were focused on getting the outcome you wanted. Because once we can see clearly, because remember, you are the Magician. Remember that energy. Once you can see clearly, you don't have to remain, stuck or suspended in a story, that you created by assumptions. Until next time, my butterflies, I hope these energies have helped you to make the best possible decisions for your highest good. Always remember there's an honor and a privilege, because my healing is your healing and your healing is mine. So let's transform together. Welcome to your Metamorphosis, butterflies. And until next time, you all stay safe.